Paddington. There is no Albert in the UK that's more beloved than this momentarily love of Grizzly. Lee, ever since his debut, you, Paddington has become a popular icon for the UK, and one of the country's favourite characters. It even came to the point where in 2014, and they decided to make a live action film about him with Paddington. And yeah, I really love that film. It had a great heart, a solid story, really good visual effects, especially on Paddington himself. Elves, some lovable characters and some great acting, as well as adding in a bit of action, and as well of its strong heart. Then Paddington 2 came along, always to be one of the best films from the UK. It took everything that was phenomenal about the first and times it by two. With a more or better story, with incredible visual effects, and some really heartwarming moments, and with more charming characters. So I was quite excited when I heard that they were going to do a third movie, Paddington in Peru. This was a film that easily became one of my most anticipated films of 2024. I mean, the other two were phenomenal, so we were hoping the same thing for in Peru. And now that the film has officially been released in most countries worldwide, and that the film has just got to its UK release on DVD, Blu-ray and 4K, I think now would be as good of a time as any need to look into this movie. And what do I think about Paddington in Peru? Another wholesome masterpiece. Yeah, it's debatable if this is the best from the trilogy, but it is still an incredible film regardless. As this is especially the case with the heart of the feature. I'll say right now, and that what makes these Paddington films so amazing is the heart that's delivered. And the heart is probably the strongest in the third film. There are so many moments throughout each of these get me emotional, or especially on Paddington's quest to search the jungles of Peru to find Aunt Lucy. See, the film also added a bit of an action adventure into it. It is to make it stand out from the others first, and yet it doesn't change what makes these Paddington movies so heartwarming. It does know when it has to have a lot of action, yes, but it knows when to make room for the heart, where the action needs to be slow paced, so it can focus on the more tender moments that these films offer. Also, so like the previous films, what makes them work is the humour. The previous two films had some great fantastic humour with them. And I say the same can be said about In Peru. Most of the jokes really and they're making the most of the environment of Peru, and being very immersive with all the details with it, and what the main jungle would have to offer. So it is quite intriguing, and I was quite curious to explore Peru on Paddington's adventure to see what other wonderful things would be ahead of us. But us also, so since we didn't get fully into this, the action is really great. When the film does have to be a bit more intense, it does a great job with the balance and making those things really engaging. This is especially the case with how fun they can be as well. mixing the intense action, but adding a bit of fun to make them enjoyable. Or it all comes to have a climax that is both exciting, but also just a lot of fun. And it's Paddington and to escape apes captain on Hund Gabon was in an exciting shape. Apes were the brand also on their way to aim them in the plane. But what makes these Paddington films for me have always been the characters. They have easily been the strongest part out of each of these movies. I really love of what they do with them, especially with Paddington. And the film keeps his heart really strong. As like the most pure soul or whatever that's just too good for this work. A kind-hearted soul that doesn't let anything get in the way with that, and is determined to find Aunt Lucy at all costs to make sure or she is okay. I will say, while her role is small, I also thought like Aunt Lucy was very interesting. They add a strong and enjoyable character. I like how even after the she Aunt Paddington, she and Uncle do so they try to look on where a little where I came from and to find where he belonged. As for the Browns, while the roles aren't as big in this as they are in the previous films, they still offer the family heart that is enjoyable. They can have their own little side plots, yes. As like Henry having to go over his fist and break ace all the rest. Security preparing a travel block to get into university, and business, but are being suspicious about what the Reverend Mother has going on at the home for retired bears. But what makes them strong is their family home, not just Paddington, but with each other. It is clear from the film that while they still live together, they do spend a lot less time than they used to. And with this adventure to Peru, the love of the family and be still a strong where they remember what made them such a strong family, which brings the heart together. But our family values that these films are well known for. But yeah, their relationship with Paddington is very sweet. I especially love the ending where they were more than ready to let Paddington go, and yet Paddington was willing to stay with them, even after he found his tribe. Either as Paddington and in his words, as those bears he found might have been his tribe, but the Browns will forever be his family. I'll admit that did get me quite emotional the first time I saw it. And show just how strong the heart is. But there are a lot of new characters within this adventure to Peru, of course. Or this is especially the case with if Captain Hunt took together. Out of all the villains listed in the Paddington movies, I'd say Hunter is probably the most interesting thing. And they don't try to show him as a twist villain or anything, but you show him inflicted to the Gabble family. They have been shown to have gold fever, but always looking to find El Dorado. And Hunter is willing not to let his ancestors down, especially when he's always haunted by them. However, with his relationship with his daughter, Gina, who hasn't suffered from the gold fever, even just wants to have a good, loving father, he is on whether to follow on with his ancestors' quest, or to be the father that actually deserves, as making him quite a complex antagonist is where he can start to lose his morality when his ancestors try to manipulate him. But even though Hunter isn't a twist villain, we do get one with the Reverend Mother. It turns out to be Hunter's cousin. I really like how they set her up as a twist villain. We can tell that there's something off about how Nita, but we're not entirely sure or as to what. We think we uncover at the same time. I'm Mrs. But as well as she actually gave Abby's friend and the Browns a cat, and so she can act on sort of the same anything doesn't happen to like it did to Aunt Lucy, but there's still something that doesn't feel right. It's something when we see either Gab at who after the client. I think that's where it all comes together, and all the clues that have been set around makes a lot of sense. And the film does leave subtle clues of what happened to Aunt Lucy and who the Reverend Mother really is. It is, but I like how it doesn't let the audience figure it out right away. To the point when they are revealed, it does make sense, and the audience does understand and where those plots come from. Sean rewatch, and this is what I found on my rewatch, is that the twist does feel easily predictable, and definitely feels like a more one-time thing. In that works the first time, but the more you watch it, the more you realise how predictable it actually is. But it still doesn't change the fact that it was a decently handled twist, and I enjoyed it. How it was handled. I also got to say the actors are really, really good in this film too. Of course, also the past actors did it really well. I like that, and one as Paddington, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, and Hugh Bonneville as Henry. But all the others did really well as well, especially with Olivia Colman as the Reverend Mother and Antonio Banderas as Captain Hunter Gabble. I'll even give editor to replace for Harry Brown, and if you tell me that the actor has been replaced, I wouldn't have noticed because she still delivered the strong on card. So overall, Paddington in Peru is another wholesome masterpiece. Even in the Paddington collection, it still has a really great story, with some really good visual effects, solid action, an amazing heart, great acting, and a cast of charming and lovable characters. So, as I would highly recommend this to fans of the first two Paddington films, as they're going to easily love this. However, if you're on the mood for a fun and little action film that does also sprinkle in a bit of heart, then this will also be a good watch too. Paddington has always been a popular character since its beginnings, but he has now shown that he is able to create a perfect movie trilogy, and that's why I'm giving Paddington in Peru a 10 out of 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!